Okay, so this is a first in a series of videos to review rational operations. So a rational function, you remember, is just a function that is like an ugly fraction. So you might have like a over b and b over c, or let's call this c over d so we don't get them mixed up. So a and b and c and d, those could be any functions. This could be like x plus 3 over x plus 4 times x squared plus 9 over 5. It could be anything. But we're going to multiply these. So we're going to treat them like fractions, except that there are all kind of variables and numbers and everything inside. So the basic rule is, for any fraction, if you have a fraction, so let's say our a over b times c over d, when we're multiplying them, you're just going to go straight across. So it's going to be top times top, bottom times bottom. So in this case, then, it would be a times c over b times d. This is not cross multiplying or anything like that. It's just straight across. So numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. So if we had numbers, so like let's say this was a 3 over 4 times 5 over 7. We would go 3 times 5 gives us 15. 4 times 7 gives us 28. And that would be our answer. If we put letters in there, so like 3 over x times x plus 1 over x plus 2, we do the same thing. So it's 3 times x plus 1. So we go 3 times x plus 1. And then we go x times x plus 2. And we're done. You could distribute if you want to. We don't gain anything by doing that. So if it's not going to help us, then it's not really worth the effort. So I would leave it just like this. None of these will cancel out, so we're done. Okay, let's do one a little bit more complicated. Let's say you have something like this. Okay, let's say we have something like this. So this is a whole lot uglier than just a over b times c over d. So let's make some steps. The first thing you always want to do is you want to factor, because we're hoping that something will cancel out. We want to make things easier on ourselves. So we're going to factor the top one. We're going to factor like this one here. We're also going to factor the one on the bottom, like this one. And the part on the right, this x plus 3 and the 4x, that's already as simple as it'll go, so we can't really do anything with that. Okay, let's factor the top one. So our a value is 1. Our b is 7. We're looking at our coefficients. Our c is 10. This is just standard ordinary factoring. So a times c is 10. Factors of 10 are 1 and 10, 2 and 5. 2 and 5 add up to 7, so that's what the pair that we're going to use. So we're going to rewrite that here. So we have x plus 2 times x plus 5. Then we're going to do the same thing with x plus, with the stuff on the bottom. So let me move this up because I didn't give myself very much room. Okay, so then I'm going to factor the one on the bottom too. So this one, our a value is a 1, our b value is an 8, and our c is 15. Well, a times c is 15, and the factors of 15 are 1 and 15, 3 and 5. Obviously it's going to be 3 and 5 because that makes 8. 1 plus 15 gives us 16, that won't work. So it has to be 3 and 5. So we're going to go ahead and rewrite that. So we have x plus 3 times x plus 5. And then we're going to keep the stuff on the right that we already had. So we have x plus 3 on the top. And we have 4x on the bottom. Okay, so right away we know we're going to multiply the top times the top, bottom times the bottom. So then I'm just going to put these in together. I'm going to move this over. So I'm going to move this right here. Ta-da! I'm going to move the little 4. I'm going to put this over on this side because usually we put numbers out front. Ta-da! Okay, now we've got one big fraction, but we don't really want it to be that big. And we really want to be able to cancel stuff. Well, we can, right? We have an x plus 3 here. This will cancel with this x plus 3 here because x plus 3 divided by x plus 3 gives us 1, so that goes away. This x plus 5 cancels with the x plus 5 right here. And the only things we have left over then is we have an x plus 2 in the top. And we have a 4 in the bottom. So that's our final answer. Hooray! That's all we do with multiplying. So let's finish out our steps real quick. So we factor, then we multiply. So top times top, bottom times bottom. Multiply. And then we simplify. And that's it.